So I'm browsing the internet and I see this clip where Joe Torre is talking about his take on the whole Kevin Hart roast. And I think he nailed it perfectly.
We're in that world of clips, shock humor, where, being nasty and dirty and bad. And Trump has a lot to do with that. I mean, that's winning right now. Being evil and saying anything to get clicks and laughs is ridiculous. But, if that's the brand you are, if that's the liquor you're drinking, if that's the food you want to digest, then that's for you. To me, they invite certain type of people to those parties, or certain type of people that's going to let that go on. I'm from the 90s, so they wouldn't have flew on my watch because they know it'd have been furniture moving. Yeah. Or I'd have got up there and, I'd have, okay, well, off strip about this, now, I'd have checked all that on the point because, I've done roasts where you can speak up. I ain't have to wait to get the mic. I'm like, hold on, watch your mouth before you get smacked. But most of that stuff was written by 7 white guys. So, white people, their uncreative imagination about black people is only to go back to, hey, your drugs, your daddy left you, you're slaves, people died. It's stuff that they made up about us. So that's funny to them, not us. But it's, it's like I said, it's clickbait.
The brother got it perfectly right. We're living in a time where the comedy is just to be blunt, just mean. It was hard to see a lot of humor in most of those jokes, definitely the racial ones. While some might have found it funny, it goes back to, like you said, they know who to invite. Because I asked myself, why wasn't Chris Rock there? What was Dave Chappelle doing? Why wasn't nobody, Martin Lawrence? Nobody we knew, nobody from the community for the most part. Where the brothers at? You know what I mean? That, I know Kevin know a lot of different people. Everybody's busy, man. It just goes to show that he knew what he was doing. He do what he wanted to do with his own production company. I don't tell people what to do with their money, but I will tell you, don't be surprised when you get the backlash that you get. I just don't see where this made sense in his mind. It was just a onslaught of racial hard stuff too. Hard for white folks. White folks don't usually talk like that in comedy shows, man. They don't talk like that. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of comedy from white comedians talk about black issues. They poke a little fun at us. That's fine. That's what we do. That's how comedy works.
Don't be dissing me. No, it's all that. You go, girl.
It can be tasteful, but there wasn't no honor in that. There wasn't. They talking about lynching people.
Kevin is so short, they will have to lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Being slaves and, that's always the place. They love to live there. They love to live there. And that's not everybody, because not all white comedians do that. That's not them. But it goes back to, again, knowing who to invite.
It's Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah. I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
Horse shit!
Talk about a set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set.
No, man, you can't be doing that. Something like that, man.
You know who to invite? Tony Hinchcliffe. Other ball, I forget his name. It felt like a real reach by Kevin. Part of you do feel like the move from Kevin does feel like a sellout based on the people who were there.
Somebody in this room is selling out.
Kevin actually did really well in Saudi Arabia, but only because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin.
I say we shut the door, nigga. Shh, it's gonna be all right, baby.
The people who were sitting there in that room in the audience, I don't know who they were, but it didn't feel fun watching at home. I didn't even watch it. After I heard what everybody was saying about it, it was like, what's the point of watching? I've seen little clips online from some of the jokes that were said. They just going crazy. They talking about George Floyd, just throwing anything to the wall and seeing if it'll stick. Essentially, that's what it seemed like. Just dig at the bottom of it. They scraping at the bottom of the jar, at the barrel, just trying to find the most craziest, outlandish thing that they could say just to see if it'll stick. That's not comedy for me. It's got to be funny. You can just tell that it just wasn't meant for us. It just had a different type of feel to it. You just don't feel the respect on it. It doesn't help that the writers were all white. It felt like it was written all about white folks, because it just don't feel like black comedy to me. It was definitely dark comedy, but it wasn't black comedy. It didn't feel that way. The people who feed you every time you do your stand-up show, they show up and fill up seats, spend money, and you offend them? Bruh. You biting the hand to feed you. And this is how you know Kevin admittedly deserves some of the blame, because he said it himself. If you're bringing on Tony Hinchcliffe, you know what he's doing. We don't know he ain't coming here to talk about salmon croquettes and Dick Van Dyke.
What's the deal with lampshades? What's with people getting sick?
Like, come on. See, for the brothers, if you're trying to appeal to us, you got to come with that Def Jam type vibe, that comic view. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something we could relate to. Something brothers could get down with.
Must be no damn question like that. I ain't never had no pumpkin pie. Kick ass!
You were celebrating because the numbers looked all good on paper, the viewership and everything's up. And then you go on Breakfast Club, try to do damage control, and then the excuse that you give is,
stop talking as if I said it.
you mentioned that it was your production. It was just a lot of passing the buck going on.
We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
And it really rubbed people the wrong way. Brothers wasn't rocking with that. They felt some type of way about that.
Either way, all this shit is about what you want. It's about doing what's right. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that.
If they don't get it together, I don't know what the situation gonna be, but the numbers for this next film might not look that well. Everybody who's defending it wanna chalk it up. Oh man, come on man, what are you tripping for? This just comedy. If it's just comedy, let me walk up to you on the street one day, hey, what's up, Kevin Hart, and say some off-the-wall, outlandish stuff about your wife, and that's gonna be fighting words. But just because you're not laughing about it, don't mean that the person who said it to you and the people around him ain't laughing about it. It's comedy, remember?
Is someone behind me? What's the joke?
I got a name for you. How about Shithead Man?
Comedy is real hypocritical just to begin with. Just as a evaluator, I think it's gone too far. It's gotten out of whack because everybody has different gauges. You know, Cheryl Underwood, they talking about a husband who passed away.
Shane Gillis makes this joke, Art. He says, Cheryl's husband unalived himself. Obviously, black does crack because he jumped off a effing roof.
That was crazy. You catch some of these people on a wrong day and say these same things to them.
Eddie Murphy! You!
They will be ready to fight you out in the street.
Who he talking to like that? Talking to your ass.
You be picking up your teeth from down 2 blocks over. We're nuanced people, and it doesn't just make it right just because you say it's comedy. I don't believe that you should try to muzzle any comedian. I don't know why some comedians would want to say something like that. Kevin knew what he was signing up by bringing them on. That's their comedy, and to their fans, rock on. But that wasn't, that they should have never, that just felt mean. Charlie Kirk joke, George Floyd, you know, was one of our own, Kevin Hart, you know, so that's why there's a lot of look on the George Floyd joke. But the Charlie Kirk one was equally, like, unnecessary. Why even talking about it? Like, what are we doing right now? But it just comes to this whole evolution of the comedy because of the type of time we're in. It comes back to politics. After the whole cancel culture, and when Donald Trump came back into power for his second term, a lot of comedians who, I guess, voted for him or were against cancel culture felt like they wanted to be able to say whatever they wanted to say. So whenever jokes are being said, we're gonna try to say the most outlandish things that can, you know, be super provocative. It all goes to the Chud the Builder situation. That's essentially what the Chud the Builder situation is about.
Why you acting like
Acting like a what?
You heard me. Sit down.
Oh, sit down. If I stand up, what's the
Come on. Look at him.
If I stand up, what's the penalty?
Comedians have free speech like we all do, but why do you insist on saying that? That's distasteful. Just the whole slavery topic is just distasteful in the manner, the way they made the joke. It just don't, that's not how we tell jokes about slavery. If we gonna bring up something about slavery, it ain't gonna be in that nature. They just got it all wrong. You can't leave that type of task up to white folks to tell jokes about slavery because they gonna fail it every time. It's just, it's best they stay away from that. Keep it with the chicken and Kool-Aid and watermelon and all them jokes. Slavery, brothers getting shot out in the street and all of that stuff, those should have been delegated to black writers who can tell it in a tasteful way. Because there's a tasteful way of telling some of this stuff. They just failed the assignment. And that's what really pissed people off. It pissed me off. That's how a lot of people feel right now. And Kevin Hart is not doing himself no service right now after all of it, because it just reinforced what Cat Williams was saying all along. If Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and Martin Lawrence and Bill Bellamy and Eddie Murphy and them was there, oh, it'd have been a whole different situation. They start hands up, well, hold up now, wait a minute.
And the black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
Shut the f*** up! You better check that fool and get him out of my face before I strangle his ass.
That's on the real with that one. I don't even think the delivery of the joke was entertaining at all. Like, you know how when you hear certain jokes at certain comedians where the delivery is like the big part of what makes it funny as well?
You don't understand.
And then the punch is like the icing on the cake. When you listen to the jokes, it remind you of like a Jonah Hill movie where they're just telling these goofy and just don't, you know what I mean, they like kind of whack, like, you know what I mean, they not really, you know what I mean, oh dude, your mom is some corny stuff, some old goofball corny stuff.
Weed is tight. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Weed is awesome.
It's like the golfing sequence in Navy SEALs. Sick reference though, bro.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
They didn't feel like our jokes. They didn't feel like ours. And the funny thing about it is that there are some white comedians that know how to tell some jokes. Gary Owens, like, he knows how to maneuver in the whole black community telling jokes. Overall, I can honestly say I've seen a lot of better roasts over the years, and it also felt like a hitman for hire by Kevin Hart, bringing on certain comedians he knew that would rock the boat and say the most outlandish things, and didn't think of the consequences that might be put upon him because he's a representative of what that product was.
You better wear your bulletproof vest all day. Oh, motherfucker day.
He just better hope that when his next movie come out, people will show up for him, because people definitely feel like he didn't show up for them at that roast.